the importance of fostering education for refugees. But I want to make here a stop to make a reflection. What does education represent in a refugee camp?
If you are an educated person, you can get what you want, and also you can interact with many people in the world. Education also is very important because when you go to school, you know what is good, you know what is bad. But when you did not go to school, you don't know what is good and what is bad.
Education transforms a human being. He would have been, or she would have been a different person, but when he goes to school and gets those tools of analysis, of understanding, of studying, of surfing the internet, of reading books, a person becomes completely different.
At University Camilo Josela, we have been offering different international forums to debate about learning in the third millennium. And in particular, last October, we held the third Global Education Forum, and there we were discussing about these 12 principles that lay the foundations of the future of higher education. These principles talk about the need to foster a student-centered model with personalized itineraries, with a lifelong learning perspective. These principles talk about the need to foster collaborative, open, hybrid ecosystems where teachers and students can co-create solutions for problems of the real world. These principles talk about the need to foster educational communities focused on well-being, on free and critical thinking. And finally, these principles talk about the teacher, about their new roles as coach, mentor, facilitator, and the need to train them to be able to offer transformative experiences. And the thing is how these principles work in a refugee camp. Here are further details about the situation of Kakuma refugee camp. 3 years ago, University Camilo Josela Foundation, in collaboration with UNHCR and the Women for Africa Foundation, visited Kakuma. And we found a situation very similar to other refugee camps. Most of the teachers only had a secondary school certificate and their own educational experiences. So if we wanted to foster higher education in a refugee camp, first of all, we had to focus on teachers. We have to train them. We have to put the focus on how to reinforce their professional identity. And that is how and why we decided to create a global teacher learning community that integrates 3 aspects: hybrid training, peer-to-peer learning, and professional mentoring. And this community was called Each Teach. Each Teach relies on 3 principles that we believe that are essential to foster higher education in vulnerable contexts. The first pillar talks about scalability through the use of human technology. Each Teach is a digital platform that allows the distribution of proprietary and freely accessible content in any device, laptop, tablet, PC. And the platform is structured around 3 areas. The first one is the content repository. It offers a set of micro-courses, and these micro-courses offers highly synthesized content with self-assessment activities. And each of these micro-courses ends with a personal project. Okay? Through this project, the teacher can solve any challenge he or she is facing in the classroom. The second area is the social wall. Through this wall, teachers interact with other teachers, and in this way they are fostering peer-to-peer learning. And the third area is the area of mentors. Here the teachers that receive the support they need to solve their challenges. So in this way, the platform acts as a hub of global and local connections, reinforcing the learning. And this is ideal for vulnerable contexts because you can download the content and later you can use it offline. Sorry. Here, the second pillar talks about sustainability through local and global connections. We co-create the training content of our platform with local connections and international experts, with school staff and experts as ICEFIL. All the 21st pedagogies that we offer through the platform are tailored to the specific needs of these environments, where teachers had to face overcrowded classroom with 100 or more students from different nationalities, different languages, different cultures, different educational background, and most of the times with psychosocial difficulties. So here there is team to listen the story of the stars of this story, the ambassadors each teach in Kakuma. Please the video.
Kakuma refugee camp is bigger than other refugee camp, I think, in the world.
Teaching in Kakuma refugee camp is very, very difficult. The student can go even over 100 students in one class.
The project, in partnership with the University of Camilo and Women for Foundation for Africa, empower women by teaching them.
We were selected, the three of us, to come to Spain to acquire knowledge on pedagogical skills.
What we have gained here, it was about pedagogical strategies, classroom management.
I can design lessons, I can create stories.
I have been to a communication class where I learned skills on how to communicate with my students, how to organize a meeting to discuss the progress of the students.
I've really benefited a lot from the program. Basically just starting from the classes that I'm attending about the technology. So at least it gave me that confidence of putting my basic computing skills in practice.
These skills impacted back to other teachers.
Through learning, I'm going to empower even other women.
These skills are going to be very much useful.
We are going to be ambassadors in everywhere, like in Africa, to support other teachers, to teach them whatever we have gained.
So it's like a dream come true. I've also benefited from it.
And the third pillar of this digital platform talks about the need of creating new opportunities through new connections. Connections with other organizations, with other universities working in this field, because we want our teachers to be able to access new accredited higher education programs. And in addition, these connections led us to increase the platform with new micro courses from different organizations, and we want to expand the network of mentors with new expertise. Okay, so the idea behind each teach is to launch a circular knowledge economy, where each of us can contribute with our knowledge and with our experience to foster education in vulnerable contexts. So if I had to choose one word to guarantee the success of these initiatives, it would be collaboration. And this African proverb is besides us in each initiative. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go farther, go together. So please, if you want to know more about us, visit our website or fill in this form. Thank you very much.
So we can volunteer to teach in these camps?
You pardon?
I'm saying we can volunteer to teach in these camps?
Yes.
I think for each country there are different requirements, you know. So, I think one of our goals is that we have successfully tested the content, and now it is available on a digital learning platform. And so the idea is that where there is a need, if you want to get something like that started, then we will help you get it started. Because what we want is a way to train more teachers. Yeah.
Yes.
So these refugee camps, is it working? These refugee camps, they have devices. The people, these refugee children, do they have access to digital devices, accessibility of data, and are also digital literacy, so that they not only can access to your content but can understand it. So digital device, accessibility to data, and digital literacy, all three available?
I think I'll reply that if there is one passport that every refugee has, it's a mobile phone. It's their lifeline to their families who are all dispersed in different parts of the world. And so one of the ideas for using mobile phones is that everybody in a refugee camp has a mobile phone, because that's it's a basic thing you need for survival in the camps.
The main characteristic of the platform is flexibility. It can work in any device. So depending on area that we are putting the project in practice, we change the initiative. So that's the main point of the platform. If you have more phones, you use phones. If it's laptop or tablet or whatever. But of course, this has to be in places where connectivity, you have at least the connectivity to upload the content. And later, you can use it offline. So it is ideal for these conditions. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
From the technology side, it's fine. So technology is fine, but we are more interested towards the pedagogy side. So that is the education part. So from these case studies, what are your observations? What are your experience so far as pedagogy is concerned? That online pedagogy or digital pedagogy is concerned for for teaching the teachers. So can you say something on that?
And just to add on to my colleague, you are only catering to primary and secondary education, or this pedagogy and content is also for the tertiary education?
If I can give a very concrete element, is what we have done in all the cases in Ethiopia, in Kenya, or in Rwanda or South Africa, is we partner with a local university. So the key pedagogy and didactics of how to teach comes from us, but then the local content must come from the local university partner. And the second thing I always recommend is that the combined content from us and from the local partner must be accredited. Otherwise, you're wasting their time, and so there is no value in that. Now, to come back to the point about the key learnings that we found in terms of pedagogy and didactics, I think the first element there is that whether you're using a tool, a digital tool, or teaching in an open classroom, it all revolves around having a social interaction and contract within the teacher and the students. That is an essential element of teaching, and this is something that we have, I believe, successfully replicated in a blended or a hybrid environment. Because if that social contract is not there, then there is no respect for the teachers, and the students are not learning anything.
And answering your question too, we have to see the platform as a repository. So we talk with the organization who is going to use it and to put it into practice. So you have to imagine we have a basic level 1 that we can adapt to different conditions. But first of all, we talked with the organization who is going to use it and to put it into practice. First of all, we have designed micro courses for primary and secondary. Okay, because the schools in which we have been working on have these levels. But in the future, we can expand it to the levels that we want to, depend on the situation and the organizations that demands it. Okay, so it's flexible. It's a technology tool that you can adapt. And the thing is that besides this technology tool, there is a team of experts in technology, a team of experts in pedagogy, and the diversity of the people involved in the development of these initiatives is the key of the success, to adapt of each circumstance.
Any other questions?
I was wondering two things. First, have you tried combining any
Have you tried combining or using service learning, for example, I don't know, I'm not familiar with the university you're working with, but do they have teacher courses and maybe students from those courses can also be a part as mentors or working at the territory that you're working on, if that's been done, and if so, if you could have some insights about implementation? And also I wanted to ask about language barriers. I'm assuming that this platform is mostly in English, or is it based in each like local language, and how has it been translating and adapting to context?
Well, first of all, the mentors, no? We are open to any kind of mentor, so it has to be expertise in the area that he's going to mentorize. Okay. First of all, we have been working with ICEFIL and the team of experts at ICEFIL. ICEFIL has been working in Kakuma for a long time, and they are experts in this field. So this has been our first steps in particular in Kakuma, and so. The rest of the question, please, in relation. The language. Language. Yes, the basic language is English, but we translate it depending on the project on local languages with a team of experts, local experts. Okay.
I have one question. I come from All India Council for Technical Education. It is a national level apex regulatory body for tertiary education in technical education, that is professional and technical education. And we have an Atal Academy, it is part of this, and last year we trained 0.25 million teachers, faculty development programs we call them. Now, do you think that we can collaborate for that pedagogy and didactics training for tertiary education teachers, that too, who are specifically operating in professional and technical training? Do you think your organization has expertise in niche area in faculty development programs, pedagogy, specifically in professional and technical tertiary education? Thank you. This is my question.
I think to answer that question is we have 30 universities who have all different areas of expertise. And the way we have done it in Kakuma or in the other countries is we connect with all the 30 universities and say, here's the need, who has the expertise and wants to contribute. And quite often you have at least 4 or 5 universities that raise their hands. I think from my own experience, the Northern European countries have taken a big lead in terms of digital pedagogy and didactics. So I think that's something you may want to think about. But I think for me, it's not about saying is we have something and it must be like that. My hope is that you can take what we have and make it better, because that's the whole. That's why we had to join us, is because it's a way of really seeing how we can train more teachers. We think technology can play a role, but technology on its own cannot do the job. You need the modern pedagogy and didactics. That's what we have put into the platform. Now, on top of that, I think you also have, in terms of training, forming teachers, you need cultural pedagogy and didactics. And that's something we cannot provide, but I think the local partner must contribute to that.
See, my question was because your context and your objective both appear to be different from, what primarily we are doing. So that maybe I'll write to you and then, we can connect with each other. Thank you so much.
Any other questions or comments or thoughts? Sorry, there's one more.
Thank you very much. I was wondering, because when you say about the pedagogy, and you mentioned about the teachers being instructors, I mean, to facilitate learning. So, and when students have access to contents in the internet, so how does this help or actually influence the development of your training? So whether it is more comprehensive in terms of not just focusing on the syllabus at hand, but how the students have access to other contents in the net, and how do you, navigate that? Thank you.
Yes, in our case, the student is the teacher. And the teacher has in this app a specific repository with micro courses already created. Okay? In the future, the idea is that the teacher can use this platform to co-create new content. Okay? But the platform is just to use the micro courses and third-party courses that we put the link. This course is, we guarantee that it's okay for this level of, or this discipline, okay? But it is close to this environment.
If I can just add one more point to that, is one of the key building blocks of modern pedagogy and didactics is the role of a teacher evolves from being the source of knowledge to more a coach or a mentor. And so that's something that we have integrated into our program. I think if there are no more questions, at 4 o'clock, we are continuing this discussion on a virtual platform. And so you're all welcome to join us and participate and share. A lot of the other ICEFIL colleagues will also be participating with some very interesting insights from our partners in Africa, but also from North America. And also one of the subjects that may interest you is our colleague from the US is going to talk about the impact of AI and what AI can do for education. So use the link and join us, and if you're interested, or please do communicate with Dr. Carlota or myself if you want to know more about this program or want to take something an initiative on your own. Then you're more than welcome.
Yes, in this QR code you can find a form to send us more information. And as Bijay said, the roundtable is going to be a compound of mentors, of people who develop the platform, and some partners who we have been working with in Africa. So it's going to be really interesting.
So where is the session on AI and education?
It's online. It is in the site events agenda, okay?
So I think one of the presenters is Dr. Salzman from Lamar University, and he's the one who's done a lot of work on AI and how it can be used to support teachers. Okay. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you.